Welcome, it's Amelia Andaleon with the Spiritually Fit Yoga podcast. Today I have a short yin practice for you, and I want to show you the setup before we begin. So first, yin yoga is a very slow practice. We're going to be on the mat. We're going to be staying low. There's not even any standing poses in today's sequence. It's going to be a short sequence today, and the intention is to get into what's called the connective tissues. There's like the joints, like getting the tendons and the ligaments, underneath the skin. There's the fascia that's surrounding the muscles, and those connective tissues, they want to relax, not stretch. So this isn't a stretching class, so it's a very relaxing class, and let's just get into it so you can experience it. All right, so first, these are options for you, but I really like them, and I am going to show them and use them for today's practice. So this is a bolster. And one thing you can do, so what I like about this is firm. So you could grab pillows, you could grab a couple of pillows to stack up, but pillows are kind of smushed unless you have some firm pillows. So one thing you might want to do is grab a cushion if you don't have a bolster. Maybe grab a cushion off of your couch and maybe put a towel on top or a pillowcase. So this is what I actually started doing with my students that come to my studio. When we were having the shutdown and trying to, keep things a little bit cleaner and sanitary, people were bringing their own pillowcases and putting them around the bolsters. And to this day, we've continued this practice. So it also just keeps them clean. So if you have a bolster, I suggest grabbing that, something that can be padding underneath you, and blocks. And it could be blocks, or it could be anything that lifts the floor up to meet you. So to put underneath the outside of your knees in some poses. I'll just show you like our first pose when we come into our butterfly pose or caterpillar pose. Let's say that this knee is hard to set it down for some reason. Like you might want to have a bolster here, or you might want to have a block underneath each knee. And then the other thing underneath me is I have a blanket. So the blanket you may want at the very end of the class when we do the Shavasana. And the other thing is, if you feel tight in your hips, I'm going to suggest possibly sitting on your bolster or your blanket, and you can fold it up or you can roll it up and then sit down on your bolster. And we're going to do that right now. So go ahead and pause if you need to grab what you need, whether it's a bolster, a cushion, maybe something that can serve as blocks, 1 or 2 blocks, and a blanket. So what can you use if you don't have one of these types of blankets? A beach towel works great, a shower towel, something that you can roll up, so that'd be great. Something maybe a little bit longer, and even a blanket, any blanket off your bed. Just grab your favorite blanket. All right, so welcome back. So by now you've unpaused, and we're gonna start here. And so I'm gonna start just talking a little bit about Yin Yoga, and I'm gonna ask you to set up your seat. So we start off in Yin Yoga with meditation. So go ahead and sit on your bolster or on your blanket, and I'm going to sit on the edge of my blanket. So what I mean by sitting on the edge of my blanket, so instead of leaning back, I'm actually leaning forward so that my knees and my shins are pointing down towards the ground. And then you can tell if you need a little bit higher, if you find that your knees are still really high, then you can roll up your blanket or your cushion or whatever you're sitting on a little bit higher, and then tilt forward to create a neutral spine. And I'm in what's called Sukhasana, or crisscross applesauce, bringing one shin in front. So you see I have one knee bent, then I have another knee bent. So you can do this here. You can also start off in a chair if you want to sit in a chair and open up here. Another option, just want to set you up to be comfortable in your hips. So if you do happen to have blocks, or you could also use two rolled up blankets instead of blocks, if you feel like you would like some support underneath your knees, and just see how that feels. Okay, so getting yourself set up. I'm gonna set this aside because I don't feel like I need it. All right, so as you're seated, go ahead and close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Take a big breath in. And a big sigh out, let it go. Inhale. Expand into the lungs and the rib cages. And this first time, open the mouth, sigh. Just let something go. I'll take a few breaths. So it could be big sighs at the end, or maybe you're doing a slow inhale and exhale with your mouth closed. So just take your time to settle into the body. The hands are whatever's relaxing. It might be palms up. Palms up tends to be if you're in a receptive state of mind or body or energy, and if you feel like you need some grounding, having the palms down is also maybe another position you might like. All right, I'm going to give you a little bit of time just to settle in to your breath, into the body, and into your space. So the intention of Yin Yoga and this practice is to invite you to connect to softness, to the energy of Yin. So Yin is to let things be. It's the opposite of doing. It's being, allowing the body to just be as it is, without working, without contracting muscles. You're going to get into the pose. I'll assist you to get into the shape of the pose. You're going to stay there a couple of minutes. I'll guide you out of the pose. We'll do a little counter pose, like a child's pose. We'll go again into another Yin pose. We're going to do about 3 Yin poses today with some counter poses in between and some twists on our back and then Shavasana. So like I said, it's a very short class, but it's really, really relaxing. So what we want to do is calm the nervous system and also to get into the connective tissues to do your best to relax the muscles as much as you can. So let's do that here. So as we're sitting here still in the Sukhasana pose, just go ahead and shake out the arms if you want. You can shrug the shoulders up and just notice in the other direction. So notice if a little bit of warm up would feel good. So just noticing maybe leaning from right and left, creating space in the body, just seeing how you feel today and just relaxing the arms down. Drop your chin down towards your chest. And breathe as you continue this meditative state of mind. The invitation is to pay attention. Pay attention to your breath. Right here, pay attention to the physical sensations in the body with your chin down towards your chest. And slowly lift the head up. And let's begin in our first Yin pose. We're going to come into what's called a butterfly pose. And you may want to still sit on the edge of your bolster depending on how your hips feel. Go ahead and grab your blocks or grab your blankets if you want to roll up in between or underneath. Bring the soles of your feet together. We're going to come into a butterfly pose and then bring the blocks underneath you. So if you feel like the knees can't touch the blocks, then you can go ahead and bring the blocks up higher. And you can also roll up your blankets if you want to higher. So I'm actually having a little hip thing on my right side. So I have my blocks up a little bit higher than I normally do, and it doesn't matter, right? So what we're looking for is just being wherever you are, accepting your body exactly as it is. We're not trying to stretch. We're not trying to reach the outer thighs down to the ground. If they flop down, that's great too. But now as you get into the pose, getting yourself set up, let's focus on the mind, let's focus on the heart, and let's focus on calming the nervous system. Okay, so now that you're here comfortable, we're going to stay here for 2 minutes. So make yourself as comfortable as you need. So I am sitting upright. I'm not leaning back against something. And if you find that this is challenging, feel free to lean against a wall. So there is an opportunity to strengthen what's called our muscles, our erector spinae muscles, like up and down the spine that actually help us sit up straight. So that actually is a great, and even a little bit of core work, just sitting. And if you find it's really challenging, feel free to lean against a wall. All right, so the knees out wide. You can open your eyes or close your eyes. And again, we're going to continue this meditative state of mind. It's going to be here 90 more seconds. Breathe in. Keep the mouth closed. Breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. Fill up with breath. And let something go. So 1 more minute in silence. I'll let you know when it's time to come out of this posture. Maybe close your eyes if that's comfortable. Let the body soften. Let the skin be smooth and relaxed. Slow, steady breath. Let the outside of your legs completely rest on your props if you're using props. Let the props support you so there's no efforting in the legs. Inhale, expand into the front and the sides and the back of the body. Exhale, slowly release that breath. Let that go. Inhale to expand. Exhale, slowly release, let it go. 2 more like that. One more. And then slowly open your eyes. And then set the blocks or your towels or blankets out to the side. So go ahead and flap your butterfly wings here if you want. And then straighten one leg out and straighten the other leg out. And just jiggle out the legs. If you want, you can massage the thighs, see how that feels. So we're going to come into a little counter pose before we come into our next yin pose. So for me, I'm going to get off of my blanket. So you might want to see if this feels better for you to get off of your blanket. So I'm just going to show you as I sit back. You're going to lean back on your hands. I'll show you forward and then I'll show you from the side, and your feet are going to be out wide. We're going to come into windshield wiper, so just let the knees go side to side. And let me just show you from the side. It's the same thing. So you're sitting on your bum, hands are behind you, and you choose the position of your feet. They might be closer, they might be out wide, and then just choose. You can choose one knee at a time. And just notice how you feel those slowly as you need to. Checking in with the hips. You might even feel a little bit of a stretch in the front of the shoulders. Maybe even through the arms, a little bit through the biceps. And do that one more time on each side. All right, so now we're going to get into a straddle pose, which looks like a forward fold, if you're familiar with that. So in terms of props, you may or may not use props. You can let your head dangle here. I'm going to show an option though, if you want to have your head touch something here, and let's say you're feeling really tight in your hamstrings, so bring your cushion upright. You can go ahead and pull it towards you and you can rest your forehead here. So, or you may not even use any props at all, except maybe you want to use the blocks to rest the backs of your hands down on the blocks if you find that the hands are not reaching the ground or they're not comfortably reaching the ground. So let's bend the right knee and just the left knee long first. So we're going to hold this again for a couple of minutes on each side. So let's flex and point the left ankle. Let's just get that movement out of the way. And then now just jiggle that left leg and let that left ankle flop to the side. So no contraction of the muscles, no efforting in that left leg. All right, go sit up tall on your spine. Breathe in and breathe out. And instead of going straight on top of the left leg, you're gonna go kind of in the center, just wherever your spine naturally is comfortable. So just close your eyes and like, so if you point all the way towards your leg, you might feel, if you go forward, that there's a little bit of a stretch in the back. You might feel that also in the back of the leg. And if you find that's uncomfortable, just come into the most natural position of your spine. And inhale, lift the spine up, and then exhale, slowly walk the hands down. And let that left leg be relaxed. Relax the shoulders. And you can, again, use the bolster if you want to, or your blanket. Maybe even have it at a little bit lower. And the palms up. Maybe you're just letting the head dangle. Maybe you want a little bit of support of the floor coming up to meet you by putting blocks underneath the backs of your hands. So as we stay here, I'm going to watch the time for you. As we stay here about another minute, one thing to look for, notice if you're cramping, if you're like really scrunching in the belly, that can make it hard to breathe. So let that upper torso, so you're rounding the back slightly and letting the head relax and hang. And you're also creating the upper torso so that there's space for the diaphragm to rise and fall with the inhales and the exhales. Let the head relax. Let the arms relax, the palms relax, allowing the shape of the pose to work for you. Nothing for you to do. Breathe. Pay attention and notice. Breathe in. And breathe out. See if you can melt your chest down a little bit more. 5 more breaths. With your inhale, slowly use the hands, pressing down to slowly lift the torso up. And then take a pause, leaving your spine where it is without twisting it. And just stay still. So before we transition out the pose, we take some time to feel what's called the rebound effect. It's like, how do I feel when I get out of the pose, letting the shape of the body, let it settle where it is. Before we slowly rotate the torso now towards the front, and then straighten both legs. Lean back on your hands and go ahead and jiggle the legs. And if you want, again, if it feels good to massage the legs and the thighs, go ahead and do that. And maybe you're going to bring if you're using the bolster, maybe you're going to bring it over to your left side this time. Okay, so as a counter pose for this one, I'm going to invite you to bring your hands behind your back. This is called a seated cat-cow. That's what I call it, is a seated cat-cow. So with your hands behind your back, palms are flat, fingertips are away from you. You're going to inhale, open up the chest and the heart. You're going to pause here. Then just exhale, let something go side out, let the chin come down. So inhale, lift the head up, fill up with breath. And exhale, slowly drop the chin down. If it's comfortable for you, make this back bend a little bit bigger. Press the hands down, inhale, press the chest forward. Maybe the chest is going up. Opening up the shoulders, the heart, and the chest. Exhale, slowly exhale, drop the chin slowly down towards your chest. And do this 3 more times, taking it to your comfort level. Maybe you're opening up the chest and the heart. Maybe even if it's comfortable for you, the head is going back. And as you exhale, slowly drop the chin down towards the chest. You can sigh here as you empty out and let something go. Inhale, filling up, opening up the chest and the heart, letting the head go back. And exhale, slowly release, taking your time to drop the chin down towards the chest. Keep your chin down, walk the hands forward. And if it would feel good, maybe shake out the wrists, rotate the wrists one direction and then the other direction. Maybe interlace the fingers, press the palms forward, reach up. Maybe look up and then exhale, circle the arms down. All right, because just leaning on the wrist, sometimes there's a little bit of compression in the wrist, which is not a bad thing. It's actually good to bring a little bit of compression in our joints. All right, so let's do the other side. Same thing. This time, left knee is bent. I'm going to keep my right leg straight. And then this time, I'm going to show you how I do it with, did I switch legs? I think I did. I'm going to show you how it looks with the bolster. Okay, so if you feel like you want to use the bolster and you weren't sure about that and you're feeling like, oh, I can't go any further than this, then great. and use a bolster. I also have a wall here, or you can also lean, you can put a chair right here and put your head near the seat of a chair. So you have lots of options. So if you need to pause and set up your props, go ahead and do that. So this is nice and firm, so it's staying upright. So just notice how it feels for you. And then choose position of your arms. I'm feeling like maybe blocks underneath the backs of my hands here when I'm sitting upright. It's because I'm noticing sometimes, we need the floor to come up and meet our body where it is. So the other thing you can do is just hold on to the bolster and lean your head on the bolster. So whatever you can do so that you completely relax the arms, the shoulders, letting that right ankle flop to the side. And as you hold these poses, if you notice that the body is completely relaxed and you're really not feeling anything at all, you can melt your chest down and maybe even consider taking your bolster a little bit lower. And then maybe the head can rest down with the bolster in a different position. Or you're not using the bolster at all and you're letting the head just hang. So wherever you are, let that right ankle flop to the side. Let the right leg be relaxed. Left leg relaxed, right arm and left arm, no efforting. You're either resting your forehead on a prop or you're letting the head just dangle. And creating space so there's breath and there's space for the rise and fall of the diaphragm. So I'm still with you. I'll let you know. You have about 40 more seconds here. Calming the nervous system. We're not trying to stretch. We're just letting the body be relaxed. Let the shape of the pose do the work for you. Take a big breath in and a big sigh out. Slowly press the hands down. Maybe watch your bolster as you lift yourself up. You can set your props to the side if you want. So take your time. Slowly lean back on your hands. Start with your chin down and then slowly straighten your left leg. And make yourself comfortable with your legs if you want. You can again jiggle the legs. If it felt good before, if you massage the thighs. I know I always like massaging my kneecaps, and if you can get down to your ankles, go ahead and do that. And let's do a seated cat-cow. Let's do that 2 times as a counter pose. Palms are down. So this time I'm going to count. I'm going to suggest inhale to a count of 4. And as you exhale, slowly exhale to a count of 6. But you take it to the count that works for you. Okay, hands are behind you. Pressing your palms down, starting with your chin down. Press the hands down as you inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, fill up that breath, opening up. Sigh it out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Empty the breath, chin is all the way down. One more time, inhale to a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Fill up, open up the chest and the heart and the shoulders. Sigh it out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax the chin down, walk the hands forward. And again, maybe decompressing those wrists, rotating, shaking. Maybe you like that, reaching the arms up, circling the arms down. So whatever works for you, go ahead and create that. Okay, the last one is we're going to do both legs at the same time. All right, so here, this is actually, we're gonna come into a caterpillar with both legs straight. So with both legs straight, you may or may not wanna bring your bolster just right in the center, or your props. And maybe you wanna start it upright. So just see how your hamstrings feel. So it's, sometimes I have students that are like, oh my gosh, I can't go any further. It's like, great, then use the bolster. And just give the body time. The more consistent we are, then the more we get the length in the muscles and the more the connective tissue. That's what we're looking for, the connective tissue to open and relax. And when we can learn how to relax the mind and the nervous system, then the body will also soften and relax. All right, so find your position here. So find out if this is the correct position for you with your bolster. If it's a little bit high, then you can also lower it down. Not sure exactly where I'm gonna go with this yet. And you can also just let your head hang. So as you slowly come into the position of this forward fold, let the backs of the hands relax. Again, if you want to set up the backs of the hands on top of blocks or a cushion, let your ankles flop out to the sides. Notice if you're efforting to reach your prop. If you are, then consider pulling your prop a little bit closer to you. Okay, so this time I'm not going to do a lot of talking in this hold. By now, you've had some instructions on how to set up your arms, your bolster, creating space for your breath. And let me give you 1 more minute of silence here in this pose. And knowing if you want to lower your torso, you can also just let the head hang. Checking if you're contracting muscles anywhere, let them go. 30 more seconds. Breathe in and sigh it out. Slowly press the hands down. Slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. And slowly leaning back on your hands, keeping the chin down first. So we're in a forward fold. So our counter poses, we do the opposite. If we're forward, we tend to open up in the front. If we're open in the front, then we tend to fold forward. So we were just folded forward. We're slowly going to lift the head up. Breathe. Palms are down. 2 times for these seated cat-cows. Inhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Open up the chest and the heart. Sigh it out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Empty the breath. Last one. Inhale to a count of 4. Opening up, letting the head go back if it's comfortable. And then sighing it out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Empty the breath. Let it go. And one more time. Anything you want for the wrists. Maybe reaching up, whatever feels good for you. Maybe there's something else that you're doing that intuitively the body wants to move, how it wants you to move. We're going to start working our way on to our backs now. So if you are using a bolster or a blanket or a towel, you might want to have your bolster set up to put underneath your knees. It's a little bit high for me, but I'm just going to use it because that's what I have. And then you might have a blanket ready if you want to put a blanket on top of you. We're not going to use it yet, but just have it ready. So I'm going to open mine up. I'm going to use this in our Shavasana at the very end, just to prepare. All right, so slowly, and you can put your blocks to the sides. We're not going to use our blocks right now. You're slowly going to roll down. So, and mindfully roll down. If you need to use your hands or your forearms and your elbows, and slowly lay down onto your back. And position your legs on your arms. This is not the final Shavasana, but go ahead and just get into the shape. And just feel yourself take the arms out to the sides, let the feet flop out to the sides. So I have short legs, so my heels are not really touching the ground because this bolster is a little bit high, but that's okay. Ideally, you want your heels to touch the ground. So for me, I'm actually going to, if you ever have to get up from a laying down pose or reclining pose, hug your knees into your chest first, roll over to your side, and then with a hand that's touching the ground, use that hand to press yourself up. So mindfully come out instead of just like lifting your torso up, because you can strain your back. That's a possibility. So for me, I'm not going to use the bolster anymore. I'm going to go ahead and set that off to the side. All right. So I'm going to lay myself back down again, setting myself up. Legs are straight, legs are out wide, arms are out to the sides, and just see how does the back feel here. And tuck your shoulders in. So what do I mean by that? So kind of lift your chest up and feel like you're drawing your shoulder blades in towards the midline, and then set your back down. And what that does, it gives us a very gentle back bend across the front of the chest and the shoulders. And in yoga, when we talk about back bends, we're really talking about back bends in the what's called the thoracic spine, the upper spine. We don't want to actually add more stretching or arching in the lower back. We're actually looking to open up the front, because that's where a lot of us are really tight, and we can undo a lot of our rounding our back. So we're opening up so our shoulders are tucked in under our spine or under our back. And rotate your head to the right and notice what you feel on the left side of the neck. So we're nearing the end of the class. So with my verbal cues, you can keep your eyes closed. It's very simple. We're just going to do some neck stretches, some twists, spinal twists from side to side, supine twists, and then Shavasana. And this is actually the shape of Shavasana, just this variation with the head over to the side. If you're feeling any tightness here, you can either back off with the head, bring it back towards the center, or maybe soften the shoulders down from your ears, or send some compassionate, loving energy, some soft energy to anywhere that feels tight today. And always paying attention to any sharp pain. You want to avoid any positions that cause sharp pain. If you feel that, slowly release yourself from the pose. Slowly inhale the head back to center. Maybe tuck your shoulder blades underneath your back again if you want to reset the spine. Inhale, fill up, and then exhale, slowly rotate the head over to the left, and noticing what you feel here on the right side of the neck and shoulder. Relax and breathe. Slowly inhale the head back to center. If you cannot grab your blanket, let's see, can I get mine? I think I can grab it with my foot. Oh no, yeah, I can slide it with my foot. If you can't, then roll over to the side and lift yourself up. And I actually might do that, so I can open up my blanket. So Shavasana it's not required to have a blanket, but it can be comforting. And when we do yin poses, it's very quiet and still, as you notice, and slow. So sometimes the body can cool down just from not a lot of movement. All right. So there's something also comforting just physiologically when we have a little bit of weight on us, even if it's something as light as a blanket. So I like to tuck my arms underneath. I have my palms up, and you can put your hands underneath the blanket. Your ankles are flopping out to the sides. Check in if you decide you want the bolster or you want to roll up a blanket or towel underneath your knees. And why would you want that? Is if you're feeling any strain in your lower back. It's nice to have support underneath your knees. Or there's nothing underneath your knees. So now that you're set up, I'm going to watch the time for you. I'm going to give you a 3-minute Shavasana for the short class. And as you stay in the pose, I'm going to be seated, just watching the time. And then I'll let you know when it's time to release yourself from this final posture, this deep rest. Let's take one more big breath in together. And a big sigh, decompress. Relax the breath. Let the right arm be heavy, the left arm heavy. Right leg heavy, left leg heavy. Feel the back of the head sink into your mat. Relax the upper back, the middle back, the lower back. Relax the glutes, the right booty cheek, the left booty cheek. Feel the right heel and left heel sink a little bit deeper into your mat. Maybe feeling the backs of the arms, the backs of the hands surrender here into the ground. Letting go of any tension in the face, the skin. Just relax the entire body. Shavasana, deep rest. In this final minute, see if you can relax 10% more. Relax the whole body, surrendering, being as still as possible. Relax and let go. Gently wiggle your fingers and your toes and start to awaken the mind, maybe deepening the breath. And take a big sigh, cleansing sigh. Let it go. Maybe you're stretching your arms up above your head as you're laying down, reaching up, pointing the toes, breathing into the whole body. And exhale, relaxing the arms down, roll over to your side into a fetal position and take a pause on your side. Take this time to thank yourself for showing up, to nourish your body, your mind, your spirit, to give yourself this sacred pause to slow down. And invite the energy of Yin, the energy of softness, the energy of being. Very slowly press yourself up to a seat. You can return back to a Sukhasana if you want, where we began in the beginning. And if you would like, join me with your palms together, prayer hands at Anjali Mudra, thumbs at your heart. And close your eyes if that's comfortable. Feel your thumbs in your heart. And set an intention after this practice. Asking yourself, from this practice, what would you like to bring into your life off the mat? And maybe you have something specific in mind where you would like to apply the sense of peace and calm, slowing down, taking the time to pause before responding, before reacting. Breathe into your intention and sigh, release attachment to outcomes or results. Thumbs touch in between your eyebrows to your third eye. The light in me honors and sees the light in you. Together we bow down in thanks. Thank you so much for being here. Welcome back to your space. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. My name is Amelia Andaleon with Spiritual Fit Yoga. And check out my episode notes. I wanted to share about I have some retreats and I have some promo codes for my Spain retreat in October 2025, my Bali retreat in May 2026. And there's early bird pricing right now for a Sonoma one-day retreat on September 27th, 2025. So read the episode notes. It has the information there for you and how you can reach me, connect with me, and ask me questions. I love to hear, how was this practice for you? Did it feel good in your body? How was it for your mind or your nervous system? How did it feel as you left and went on with your day? Or maybe you did this before sleep. So this is a great practice. You can do it in the morning, you can do it a midday practice, or you can do it right before you go to bed. So either way, we could all use some time just to relax and slow down. All right, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. On my podcast, if you'd like to leave a rating or review, I love those too. And I love connecting to you, and I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. Until next time.